We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. The Bureau of Plant Industry said the government's recently imported onions have already arrived in the country and may soon temper its rising cost in the market. The Department of Agriculture earlier approved the importation of over 21,000 metric tons of onions in order to close a supply deficit and stop the market's unabated price increase. About 3,960 metric tons of fresh yellow onion and 17,100 metric tons of fresh red onion arrived in the country. The DA said this importation may result to a price drop of up to 100 pesos per kilogram of onion. Last week, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. said the government had no choice but to import given the gap between production and the demand for onions in the country. The Department of National Defense, or DND, is looking at the possibility of extending the shelf life or recycling the nearly expiring ammunition of the armed forces of the Philippines. Defense Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. said the military's decline in the use of ammunition is due to the adoption of non-lethal strategies in dealing with communist insurgents and other threats, as well as having a more skilled and diligent military personnel. He added that the government's peacemaking efforts, which also resulted in the low use of ammunition, can be sustained by the AFP. Galvez said that when it comes to ammunition stocks, the department has an authorized waste level and that the best course of action for nearly expiring ammunition is to destroy it in order to prevent harm to anyone. However, he said they are also looking at the possibility of recycling these as training ammunition, similar to what was done with the COVID-19 vaccines during his tenure as vaccine czar. The 2023 budget for direct fuel subsidies for public utility vehicle drivers has been increased to 3 billion pesos. Quezon City 4th District Representative Marvin Rillo said the increase will help the government cope with uncertainties in the world oil market. Rillo, a member of the House Committee on Appropriations, said the 500 million peso increase is factored to the 5.2 trillion peso national budget for this year. He said the government has to be ready to sustain subsidies to the most vulnerable sectors. The fuel subsidy to transport sector affected by rising fuel prices program extends financial assistance worth 6,500 pesos each to drivers of PUVs. This morning, local oil companies announced they would increase fuel prices by nearly 3 pesos per liter. Gasoline prices will go up by 2 pesos and 80 centavos per liter. Diesel prices will be hiked by 2 pesos and 25 centavos, while the price increase for kerosene will be 2 pesos and 40 centavos. Industry experts said the increase is brought by movements in the world market. A lawmaker has proposed moving at least half of the flights at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport to the Clark International Airport in Pampanga. House Minority Leader Marcelino Libanan said decongesting NAIA will lessen the number of flights that will be canceled in case of disruptions in its operations. He noted that Clark, as an alternate gateway, is capable of operating more flights, offer good connectivity to Metro Manila, and is only about 90 kilometers away from Quezon City. Libanan said flights could be transferred gradually to 50% by the year 2025, when global travel is expected to normalize. He said the country has to fully harness Clark to prevent chaos brought by an increase in passengers. And that is the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We are also shown on the social media pages of the Presidential Communications Office and on Radio Pilipinas RP1. Stay tuned for more news updates. I am William Theo. We tell stories that inspire change. Good day.